Welcome back to Miss LaFond's Story Corner. I'm Harper LaFond, and this is my fourth book critique. The feature text I've chosen for this book critique is Officer Buckle and Gloria. This story by Peggy Rathman is a book about a police officer and his trusty companion, Gloria. Officer Buckle loves anything and everything to do with safety. However, the students whom he presents his safety tips to don't seem to share in his enthusiasm. That is, until he brings Gloria with him. When Officer Buckle realizes that the only reason the children are paying attention to him is because of Gloria, he becomes extremely upset. However, in the end, he comes around and realizes that he and Gloria do in fact make a great team. The first lesson I have created is a first grade social studies lesson. This lesson is meant to help students get thinking about how they can positively impact their school and their community. First, students are going to create safety tips for other students in the school. They're going to use Powtoon to create videos that illustrate these tips, and then they're going to share these videos with other classes in the school. Next, students are going to think more broadly, and they're going to brainstorm some ideas for how they can positively impact their communities and make it a better place. Students are going to use an online graphic organizer to organize their ideas, and then collaboratively, they're going to come together and select a few ideas that they want to create infographics for, and they're going to post these infographics around their community. Teachers can also choose to upload these infographics to, for example, Facebook, and they could post these on like a community page, or students could even come up with a service project that they would like to implement in their class or in the school. So here's an example of a Powtoon I created. I'll put the link below so you can watch the whole thing. Here's an example of a graphic organizer that I used on bubble.us to organize my thoughts. And then here's an example of an infographic I created that I might share with my community. The second lesson that I have created is a third grade science lesson. So Officer Buckle has a lot of tips that deal with energy, such as never go swimming during electrical storms. So students are going to learn about different types of energy, and they're going to research one of the types of energy that are listed in the standard. They're going to create these interactive posters using Glogster.com, and then they're going to create QR codes for their posters. As an extension to this activity, the teacher could create an interactive science fair where students could post their QR codes, people could come in and view them at their leisure, and then students could be there to answer questions and provide safety tips. So here's an example of a poster that I created. You can actually click on and watch that video. And here's an example of a QR code that I created that goes to this link. So on to the other feature texts. Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus by Mo Willems is a story about a persuasive pigeon with a larger-than-life personality. When the bus driver has to leave for a little while, he instructs you, the reader, not to let the pigeon drive the bus under any circumstances. The wily pigeon, however, comes up with every and any excuse as to why he should be able to drive the bus. He really wants to drive the bus. So the only question is, will you let the pigeon drive the bus? Finding Winnie is a book about the strong bond between humans and animals. Author Lindsay Maddock tells the true story of Christopher Robin and the real-life Winnie the Pooh from her point of view. Maddock is the great-granddaughter of a World War I soldier named Captain Harry Colburn. During his service, Harry found and kept a pet bear whom he named Winnie. When Harry had to leave for France, he decided to send Winnie to the London Zoo. There, a young boy named Christopher Robin Milne fell in love with Winnie and visited her frequently. Christopher's dad, Alan Alexander Milne, wrote the beloved stories of Winnie the Pooh that we all know and love today. Journey, a wordless picture book by Aaron Becker, is a testament to the power of imagination. The beautifully detailed illustrations in the book tell the story of a young girl who escapes the clutches of boredom by imagining a magical world in which she has countless adventures. In her world, the girl takes a boat through an imperial city, rides in a hot air balloon, and rescues a fantastical bird. Ultimately, she returns home and shares her creativity with those around her. This book is amazing because it really allows the reader to tell the story. Leave Me Alone by Vera Brosgol is a story about an old woman who loves to knit. Overwhelmed by her multitude of grandchildren, she decides to leave to knit her sweaters in peace. But the old woman is unable to find rest everywhere she goes. It is only until she travels to a black hole that she is able to finish her knitting. However, the old woman soon realizes that she is lonely. She decides to return home and is filled with a joy that can only be felt with the ones you love. In the book Locomotive, author Brian Flocka paints a picture of a typical ride on the Transcontinental Railroad. Through poetic language and visually appealing pages, Flocka brings history to life. The author includes an array of details within the historical context. This book is both a work of art and a source of important historical information. Lampopo by Ed Yong is a modern-day Little Red Riding Hood story which celebrates the virtue of courage. When the main character's mother leaves to visit their grandmother, the last thing they expect is for their grandmother to show up at their doorstep. However, Shang, the oldest, soon realizes that the visitor is not their beloved Popo, but a cunning wolf instead. The children must use clever thinking in order to outsmart the wolf. Will they be able to trick the wolf and save themselves, or will the wolf get the best of them? Show Wei is a story about faith, hope, and love. Author Jacqueline Woodson, along with the help of illustrator Hudson Talbot, tells the story of her family's lineage. She talks about her ancestors who endured slavery, segregation, and hardship so that she could have a better life. Her ancestors sewed quilts, or showeis, which included information for slaves about escape routes to the north. Today, Woodson considers her writing to be an extension of her relatives' showeis and a tribute to the sacrifices they made for her. This has been my fourth book critique. Thank you so much for watching.